What if the reason you don't feel like yourself anymore has nothing to do with your age? I know that might sound impossible. After all, everyone tells us that once we pass 60, slowing down is inevitable, that the loss of energy, the fading confidence, even the distance in intimacy, is just part of getting older. But what if that's not the truth? I want you to picture this, a lamp that once lit up an entire room, now dim and flickering. Most people would say it's time to replace it. But in reality, it doesn't need replacing, it just needs a new spark. Your body is that lamp. The wiring is still there. The structure is still strong. You just need to send the right signal to bring the light back. And here's the part most men over 60 never hear: there is a simple, natural habit, one that takes just a few minutes a day, that has helped men not only restore their physical energy, but stand taller, speak with more confidence, and reconnect with the parts of themselves they thought were gone forever. I've seen it happen with my patients. And if you stay with me, I'll show you exactly what it is, and how it can help you feel like yourself again. I'm Dr. Katherine Rocker. For over 3 decades, I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, men who have built families, careers, and legacies, but quietly wondered if the best parts of themselves were slipping away. I've sat across from retired firefighters, high school coaches, Navy veterans, and small-town business owners. And while their backgrounds were different, their words were often the same: Katherine, I'm just not the man I used to be. Sometimes they meant the loss of physical strength, mornings that felt heavier, steps that felt slower. Sometimes they meant the fading spark, less drive, less connection, and an uncomfortable distance in moments that used to feel natural. And every time, I'd see it in their eyes, the mix of frustration, doubt, and the quiet question: is this just how it ends? But here's what I know with absolute certainty: it doesn't have to end that way. Your body isn't broken, it's waiting. Waiting for the right signal to restore energy, rebuild confidence, and reconnect you to the man you remember being. In the next few minutes, I'll share a simple, proven habit I've taught to men across America, one that requires no pills, no surgery, and no complicated routines. Just a small daily action that can help you feel like yourself again. It rarely happens all at once. For most men, the change is so gradual they don't even notice it, until one day they realize they've been living with it for years. It might start with skipping the evening walk because you're just too tired, or turning down a spontaneous outing with your wife because you'd rather stay in. Or maybe it's noticing that the moments of closeness you once looked forward to now feel like something you have to prepare for. I've seen how this slow drift away from yourself isn't just physical, it's emotional. When your body doesn't respond the way it used to, you don't just lose energy. You lose presence. You lose the comfort of knowing I've got this. And the truth is, it's not about desire or love. I've spoken to men who deeply adore their partners, but quietly feel a wall between who they are now and who they used to be. Medically, I can tell you exactly what's happening. Over time, circulation slows. Hormone signals weaken. Nerve response becomes less sharp. It's like the volume knob on your vitality has been turned down, so gradually you didn't hear the change until it was almost silent. But here's the good news: a silent crack can be repaired. And when you fix it, the light, the connection, and the confidence come back in ways that surprise even the men themselves. One of the biggest myths I hear, over and over, is that feeling slower, weaker, or less connected is simply the price of getting older. It's a belief so common that many men stop looking for answers the moment they turn 60. But I'm here to tell you, it's not your age. Think of your body like a garden. The soil is still fertile, the roots are still strong, but if the water stops flowing, the flowers fade. It doesn't mean the garden is gone. It means the system that feeds it needs attention. The same thing happens in your body. It's not the number of birthdays you've had, it's what's been happening inside, years of stress that quietly strain your heart and blood vessels. Diets that lack the nutrients your body needs to produce energy and hormones. A slow but steady loss of circulation to the muscles and nerves that keep you feeling alive. Yes, the years play a role. But the years aren't the problem, the signals are. And when those signals weaken, your body doesn't stop working. It simply goes into low power mode. The powerful truth is this: signals can be restored. When you give your body the right prompts, nutrients, movement, and timing, it responds. Not just in your stamina, but in your mood, your confidence, and your connection. I've seen men in their 70s and 80s come back to life, not because they turned back the clock, but because they turned the system back on. And that's exactly what the habit I'm about to share is designed to do. For years, I searched for ways to help my patients restore their energy and connection without relying on endless prescriptions or complicated routines. And here's what I discovered: sometimes the most powerful changes come from the simplest actions. This habit I'm about to share isn't flashy. It doesn't involve expensive equipment or a long list of rules. You don't have to sign up for a program, overhaul your diet overnight, or block off hours in your day. It's a small, deliberate action you can do right at home. One that takes minutes, but sends a clear, unmistakable signal to your body: wake up. We're rebuilding. Here's why it works. It gently stimulates circulation, helping blood reach the muscles and nerves that have been running on low supply. It supports your hormone balance, giving testosterone the space to do its job naturally. And it reduces the silent tension in your body, freeing up energy you didn't realize was locked away. I've seen men call me after just a week, surprised that something so small could make such a noticeable difference. They didn't just feel stronger, they felt more present, more willing to engage, more like themselves. And in a moment, I'll share the story of one man whose life changed in just 3 weeks because of this habit. But first, I want you to imagine something. What would it feel like if you woke up tomorrow and felt a spark of energy that's been missing for years? Harold was 68 when he first sat in my office. A retired high school teacher, sharp-minded and kind-hearted, but with a quiet heaviness in his voice. He told me, "Katherine, I'm not sick, but I'm not me either. I get through the day, but I don't live it. My energy is gone, my sleep is shallow, and I can't remember the last time I felt that spark with my wife." I could see it wasn't about a lack of love, it was about a loss of connection with himself. I introduced him to the simple daily habit we've been talking about. No pills. No complicated instructions. Just a consistent, easy action each day, done at the same time, so his body learned to expect the signal. The first week, Harold noticed his afternoons didn't feel as heavy. By the second week, he was sleeping deeper and waking without that familiar grogginess. And then came the moment that changed everything. One morning in the third week, Harold's wife looked at him and said, "Your eyes, they look alive again." He laughed when he told me this story, but I could tell it meant more than he let on. Because it wasn't just his eyes, it was his posture, his voice, the way he carried himself. He'd stopped leaning on the counter when he talked. He started suggesting evening walks again. And yes, the warmth in his marriage began to return, not forced, but natural. When Harold said to me, "Katherine, I feel like myself again," I knew he wasn't talking about a number on a lab report. He was talking about presence, confidence, and the quiet pride of knowing he was back. And that's why this habit matters. It doesn't just change your body. It changes the way you show up in your own life. So why did Harold, and so many other men, see such a change from something so simple? It all comes down to how your body responds to the right signal. This habit does three powerful things at the same time. First, it boosts circulation. Over time, the tiny blood vessels that feed your muscles, nerves, and yes, your intimate health, can get stiff and narrow. This habit encourages your body to release more nitric oxide, a natural compound that tells those vessels to relax and open up. When that happens, blood flows freely again, carrying oxygen and nutrients where they've been missing. Second, it supports hormone balance. Testosterone production is a delicate system. Stress, poor sleep, and low circulation can choke it off quietly over the years. By improving blood flow and lowering physical tension, this habit creates the conditions your body needs to produce and use testosterone more effectively, without the risks of synthetic treatments. Third, it calms the nervous system. Most men don't realize they're carrying a constant low-level stress load. That tension keeps your body in fight or flight mode, which drains energy and shuts down the very systems that make you feel strong and present. This habit signals safety to your nervous system, shifting you into rest and repair mode, where true recovery happens. And here's the part one love the most. Once these three systems, circulation, hormones, and nervous system, start working together again, the benefits stack. You don't just feel a little better in one area. You feel it everywhere: your energy, your mood, your connection with others, even the way you think. That's why the habit works, and why it's easier to stick with once you start. Because your body rewards you quickly enough that you want to keep going. Now that you understand why this works, let's talk about exactly how to do it. The power of this habit isn't in complexity, it's in consistency. So here's the blueprint I give my own patients. Step 1: pick your time and protect it. Choose a time of day you can commit to every day: morning right after waking, or evening about an hour before bed. The key is making it predictable so your body learns to expect the signal. Step 2: the 3-minute practice. The habit itself only takes about 3 minutes. It can be as simple as a specific nutrient boost, a brief circulatory exercise, or a targeted breathing routine. Whichever form you choose, it should be done with full focus, no distractions. Step 3: pair it with hydration. Before you start, drink a glass of water. Why? Because even mild dehydration thickens the blood, making circulation harder. Water primes your system so the habit's effects are stronger. Step 4: anchor it to something you already do. Tie it to an existing daily ritual: after brushing your teeth, before your morning coffee, or right after turning off the TV at night. This makes it harder to forget and easier to keep. Step 5: track subtle wins. For the first week, don't look for miracles, look for shifts. Maybe you wake up less groggy. Maybe your legs feel lighter on the stairs. Maybe you feel more willing to connect with your partner. Write them down. Those small changes build momentum. And remember, this isn't about perfection. Miss a day? Start again the next day. Your body responds to the pattern over time, not a single flawless streak. If you give your body this consistent signal, it will start to respond, often faster than you expect. One of the things I love about this habit is that it's not one size fits all. It can, and should, be adapted to fit your body, your schedule, and your priorities. Here's how I tailor it for different men in my practice. If you struggle with poor sleep, do the habit in the evening, about an hour before bed. Pair it with a calming routine: dim the lights, slow your breathing, and keep screens off afterward. This helps your nervous system shift into recovery mode so you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. If your main concern is weak circulation, morning is your best window. Do the habit within 30 minutes of waking, when your blood vessels are most responsive. Combine it with gentle movement, a short walk, light stretching, or even standing leg pumps, to send a strong signal to your circulatory system right away. If you live with high daily stress, choose a time when you can pause, even briefly, in the middle of your day. The goal here is to reset your stress response before it builds to the point of draining your energy and dampening your hormones. Some men keep this as a 3-minute break at their desk, others do it in their car before heading home. If you're already fairly active, layer the habit onto something you're doing well, like after your workout, during your cool down, or right after a healthy meal. This amplifies your recovery and builds the habit into a rhythm your body already loves. Remember, the magic isn't in following my exact schedule. It's in sending your body the same, reliable message every day: we are restoring. We are ready. Before you can truly commit to this habit, you need to clear away the mental roadblocks that convince too many men to do nothing. These beliefs sound harmless, but they quietly rob you of the chance to feel better. Misbelief number 1, it's too late for me. I can't tell you how many men in their 70s or even 80s have told me this, right before proving themselves wrong. Your body is built to repair at any age. It may not respond overnight, but the systems for circulation, hormone production, and recovery never expire. They simply need the right signal to work again. Misbelief number 2, only medication can help now. I'm not against medicine when it's truly needed. But relying solely on a pill is like covering a warning light on your car with tape. It hides the symptom without fixing the cause. This habit addresses the root, how your body moves blood, balances hormones, and regulates energy, so the results are real and lasting. Misbelief number 3, this is just aging, I should accept it. There's a difference between accepting the number on your birth certificate and surrendering the quality of your life. I've seen men settle for less energy, less connection, less joy, not because they had to, but because no one showed them a better path. The truth is, these beliefs aren't facts, they're stories. And you can rewrite your story starting today, one small action at a time. When you let go of these mental walls, you make space for progress. And once you take that first step, the changes don't just feel possible, they feel inevitable. I want you to think of the next 7 days as your personal experiment, a chance to prove to yourself that change is still possible. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Pick the time that works best for you, morning, evening, or midday, and commit to doing this simple habit every single day for the next week. It takes just minutes. No special gear. No rearranging your life. How to make it stick? Write it down. Mark each day you complete it on a calendar. Pair it with something you already do without fail: morning coffee, brushing your teeth, or turning off the TV at night. Keep a small notebook and jot down even the tiniest changes. Did you wake up with more energy? Were you in a better mood during the day? Did you feel more present with your partner? The goal of these 7 days isn't perfection, it's awareness. You'll start noticing subtle wins you might otherwise overlook. And once you see even the smallest spark return, you'll know the fire is still there. I've seen men go into this challenge skeptical, and come out surprised by how much can shift in just a week. It's your turn to see what's possible. This isn't just about a habit. It's about reclaiming something far more important, your identity. When you start to feel stronger, clearer, and more connected, you're not just improving your health, you're stepping back into the role you were always meant to play. The man who leads, protects, and inspires. The man whose presence makes the room feel steady. The man your family looks to, not because you're loud, but because you're there. And you're not doing this alone. There's a quiet but powerful movement of men across the country, men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, choosing to write a different story for this chapter of their lives. They're saying no to decline, no to isolation, and yes to being fully alive. Every time you show up for yourself, you're also showing up for them, and for the people who care about you. Because when one man stands taller, it sends a signal to the rest of us that we can too. I've watched this community grow, not in some big public way, but in small, powerful moments. A man taking his wife's hand during a walk. A grandfather playing on the floor with his grandkids without worrying about getting up. A friend cracking a joke with the kind of confidence that only comes from feeling good in your own skin. That's the identity we're restoring, not just for you, but for every man who's been quietly wondering if it's too late. If you've stayed with me this far, it tells me something important: you're not done. You still care about your energy, your confidence, and your connection. And you're willing to take action to get them back. So here's my invitation: don't wait for the perfect moment, start today. Start tonight. Start tomorrow morning. Choose your time, do the habit, and keep it going for 7 days. Not to prove something to me, but to prove to yourself that the man you remember is still here. I've seen it happen over and over. That first week becomes 2 weeks. 2 weeks become a month. And before you know it, you're not chasing the past, you're building a stronger, more present version of yourself than ever before. If this message resonated with you, I want you to share it. Think of a friend, a brother, a father, someone who might need to hear that it's not too late. Send it to them. You never know how much hope you might give. And if you decide to take the 7-day challenge, let me know in the comments. I read every single one, and your story might be the reason another man chooses to start. You're not broken. You're not finished. You are simply waiting for the right signal. And now, you have it.